Ghosts, spirits, poltergeists, demons. Do they exist? Is there life after life? Are there unseen entities around us? Can they communicate? Do you believe? What happens in the shadows doesn't always stay in the shadows. Live from Northwest Georgia, covering the region and beyond, this is Georgia Paranormal Radio. And now, here is your host, Mike Watkins.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Georgia Paranormal Radio. This is your host, Mike Watkins, and I am so glad that you've joined us tonight. This will be episode number 21, and with me tonight in studio is guest David Westbrooks.
Hey Mike, how are you tonight?
I am better than I have been in a couple of weeks. Finally getting over this junk that everybody seems to get.
Yeah, everybody's got it right now,
yeah,
including me.
It's nasty. It is nasty. A lot going on in the world. A lot going on in our world.
Yeah, actually there is a major update on the website.
Yeah, go ahead and say what you got to say about that.
I'm not going to poke fun at you or anything like that. You can want to hold pictures back from me and not show them to me before you put them up on the website. That's fine.
You know, it comes from the peels or something. I don't know. I could have swore I sent those things to you. But, hey, there's some good pictures on there right now. And probably going to be a couple of more by the time I get done this week.
Yeah, there are some good pictures on there. And several of the photographs you put on are your own work. And I have to admit, I didn't even know they existed. I didn't even know you had them. And whenever I went on the website to look at the update, I looked down at the pictures and I thought, man, those are good, but I didn't take those. Where'd them come from? So I opened them up and looked at them and I thought, Mike hid them from me. He just wanted to surprise me with those pictures.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I'm all about sharing, and I guess you could tell by the photo signature that because it was an MW file, and I always put everything MW, DW, whoever. I put the initials of whoever collected it. So, yeah, there's some good pictures on our website, folks.
Well, the ones that you took are great captures. I mean, they're real good photos.
I'm more of a photo person than an EVP person. And speaking of EVP, second EVP page up.
Yes.
I split them out. What I was going to do is put them all on one page, but I have got a couple of emails saying that people were having, to wait copious amounts of time to load that EVP page.
Right.
Even with broadband. I mean, because it's taking, it takes a big chunk to download that EVP page.
Well, now, there's 2 full pages of EVPs on the site now, and I mean, you're not going to get bored listening to the same ones over and over and over. You've got plenty of variety now.
Yeah, put 5 more on today, and they're pretty good. Some things we've collected here and there. One from this very studio.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think all of them that's on there have been played on the EVP Specials.
They have. They're a good source. The EVP Special is a good source to update the website from.
This is true.
Because we usually put our good stuff out for the EVP Special, so why not put it on the show?
As long as the spirits keep cooperating with us and giving us good EVPs, then we're going to throw them out there to the fans.
Absolutely. Well, you're the EVP magnet anyway. I mean, they hate me. I mean, just taking it for example, we go on to a little pseudo investigation last week down to the train. We love the train. I come home, I review my EVP captures, and do you know how many I had, folks?
1?
-4. I owe them some. Okay, I didn't even get 1. I owe them like something. They hate me. They obviously hate me. They don't want to talk to me.
Well, now, some of the captures that I got on mine, I'm not sure whether I really wanted or not.
Right. Now, you got some. So, good Lord, go figure. It's like Jeff Belanger said, he's an EVP repellent, and I guess I am too. So, there you go. I'll take the pictures. I'll handle the logistics.
I'm just a good listener. That's what it is, and they know that.
I'm just a smart aleck. So, and they know that. I think everybody knows that I'm just a smart aleck. No, well, if you don't like it, leave it. Don't leave. Don't leave, please. I'm sorry. Don't leave.
Watch your wording.
Yeah, really. So we got those EVPs up on the site. We got those photos up on the site. Put up another link exchange or two. A couple of groups had wanted to link with us. They like our work, I like theirs, so we agreed in that mutual link exchange thing. So check it out, www.nwgapit.com. It is updated today. Actually, by the time you hear this, it'll be yesterday, but the whole temporal mechanics of pre-recording these things just gives me a headache.
You know, you was talking about the link exchange and everything. I'm sure you'll agree. Since we've got on MySpace, you know, we've got some positive feedback from MySpace along with this website. I mean, we're making a lot of friends out in MySpace.
Absolutely, and that's why I put a big thing on the front page of the website about, hey, we're on MySpace. And there's a link to each of our individual MySpace pages on the front page of the website.
You know, they're eating it up. They love it.
They are. You've got a lot of photos on yours.
Yeah.
I just handle logistics on mine. I mean, mine is the update people about what's going on thing.
Well, but the way we got this split up is you handle the Georgia Paranormal Radio part of it, and I'm basically taking care of the ghost hunting and EVP thing, and referring them back to the site for the EVPs and everything. So I post the photographs on my page on MySpace, and it's got a lot of comments and a lot of positive feedback. So hopefully, you know, that's going to lead them back to our website where they're going to pick up the radio program.
Let's hope. Now, speaking of photos on your site, didn't you share a couple of photos, or we're getting featured on someone else's website?
Yeah.
Some of the work you've done?
There's a site called About Ghost. And I apologize, I can't remember the lady's name right offhand that requested the photos. She also hosts a web site for ghost hunting and things. Saw some of my photographs, were interested in them, and I've shared some of our photographs with her, and she will be posting them on her March ghost photo page starting March 1.
So 2 days.
Yeah, in 2 days.
And I guess she rotates them out every month or something to keep fresh content on there and such.
Yeah, she actually, the way she breaks it down is that she has each month listed down. She's already got February's listed down, of course. March is coming up. One or two of our photographs will be on that page. So, you know, we're spreading out a little bit, letting people see her work. She agreed that she would give us full coverage as far as where the photographs come from and refer them back to us.
Excellent.
So, you know, that worked out pretty well, too.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole thing is, I mean, the field of paranormal investigation, it's not your toy, it's not my toy, it's not their toy. It's to share with everybody.
It's a community. Get
the information out there any way you can for the people to see and to hear, and everybody just work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, hey, look forward to that. Look for what got ghosts, about ghosts. What was it?
About ghosts.
About ghosts. So look for that. And hey, David's going to be on there with some of his photos. And like I said, our update. I'm proud of that. I worked on that today for several hours. Got the carpal tunnel syndrome.
It's a good update.
And hopefully I'll put a couple of more on there. By the time you folks are hearing this, they may already be up.
Well, it's already inspired me to go out and work harder.
Well, yeah. Too bad you're working tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm working my day off again.
I hate doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Our jobs are time consuming. It's horrible.
Well, you were nice about it. I was going to say something else, but it gets to the point where it gets old when you don't have any days off at all. And if you ghost hunt, I mean, you know, it cuts into that. And anything that cuts into my ghost hunting or my EVP collection, you know, that's a bad thing.
It irritates me.
You hold your fingers up in the sign of the cross and say, "Get thee away from me, Satan." But, you know, unfortunately, you got to pay bills.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unless, you know, we could have this huge benefactor out there, an anonymous benefactor who wants to, you know, give us their fortune.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I still haven't got my new microphone yet.
Unless you want to claim Anna Nicole's baby.
There's already a couple people I know doing that.
Well, I mean, that's a free source of money right there, but...
Well. Nah. No.
I've raised my 5. That's enough.
Yeah, you know, I've seen your 5. That's enough.
Yeah. At times, you are definitely right.
I love kids, but they're not for me, folks. I like them when I can see them and turn them right back over to the parents quickly.
Exactly. Well, that's it. That's the best thing about being a grandparent.
I want to skip the whole parenting thing and go straight to grandparent.
Yeah, but being a grandparent, that means that you can take them, do whatever you want to with them, feed them all that they can eat, shake them up, make them sick, and then send them back home with mom and dad.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
You know, grandparents' revenge.
Yeah. Well, all right. Now, speaking of updates, I kind of spoke on this last week at the end of last week's program, and it has happened, folks. It didn't happen quite the way I was planning on it happening, though. Georgia Paranormal Radio now has its own domain name. What we did was actually buy the domain name, which is www.gaparadio.com. Yeah, it's a weird one, I know, but hey, ghost hunting's weird, so get used to it. If you break it down, it abbreviates to Georgia, G-A, Paranormal, P-A-R-A, and then the word radio. I don't think you can break that down too much. But anyway, we're there, and we were going to actually move the whole show to a different server, but the servers that we wanted to move to were not something I could work with. It was very limiting. Now, the company we're with right now, the price is a little bit higher, but I can customize the site and the show any way I want to, and I'm willing to pay a little extra for the freedom.
Well, when you start limiting yourself, I'll get that out in just a minute. You don't say that 3 times real fast. When you start limiting yourself as far as your ability to do what you want with your own website, you're cutting your own throat.
Absolutely. Every company should provide templates. I'll agree to that. Every company should provide templates for people who don't know what they're doing. But for people...
Boy, tell them give me some templates, because I sure don't know what I'm doing.
But for people who actually have a small clue, and I have more than a small clue. I am an HTML and CSS king, it would seem, compared to some people. The present company excluded.
No, I don't know nothing about HTML. You remember I had to call you and send you a email so that you could help me figure out the HTML code to get my pictures on MySpace.
I love that, by the way. I love doing that to people. But anyway, we got more freedom, and I can do what I want to do with the radio website. But we do have our own domain name now, which I've already said, www.gaparadio.com. And for those of you listening on iTunes, you can just add a /RSS to the end of that. That's our feed. So, that's good. Yeah. We got it updated. It's working fine now. But here's the kicker. You don't have to change the web address or the RSS feed to continue listening, because the old one will continue to work forever.
That's good.
So, not only can you get us at the new address, but if you're just, don't want to change, you've already got everything set up, you don't have to, because it's going to work either way.
You'll make it simple.
Oh, it's so simple. So simple. So anyway, that's our new address, and you can look us up there. There's really not much on the radio webpage that I don't say on here.
True.
But it has our copyright information and our credits, because I never tell you that the music that you're listening to at the end of the show is by Devin Anderson. I guess I just did. But that's on our webpage, and some links to our sites, and some other RSS feeds that you can find us on, and all that good junk is on there. So, hey, if you get bored, go visit it one day. And
speaking of music, intro and exiting music, I guess
it's not copyrighted. You can't say a word. No, wait, what? Prove it's illegal.
Have you been to my MySpace page lately? Heard the opening theme that I've got on there?
It's some kind of, I think, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's kind of a Celtic kind of thingy.
Anybody that has dealt with the world of paranormal knows the name Art Bell.
Oh, have you got his theme music on there?
Mummer's Dance by Lorena McKennitt.
Oh.
Absolutely gorgeous woman, absolutely great singer. But Art Bell is my hero. Has been for many years. Mm-hmm. While I was driving around on third shift, he kept me awake many nights with his programs. Got me interested in the paranormal. And I hold that as a tribute to him by playing that as my opening song into my MySpace page. My MySpace. Bigfoot or Big Feet?
Either.
Either. My MySpace page.
Yeah,
We'll get that out. But I like it. I like my intro music.
I like it too. I rotate mine around frequently just because my musical taste changes. I guess.
Well, that's me. I can't stay with anything for any length of time, but I think I found something I'll stay with as long as I can keep.
Yeah. If I don't take enough antidepressants, I change my music because I'm never happy with.
I'm never depressed until I come up here.
Yeah. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right either.
No, I guess it didn't, but you get my meaning.
I don't know.
I'll explain it after the show.
Yeah. By then I'll forget about it. That's what you're hoping for. In all honesty, folks, I really don't take antidepressants. I probably could use a couple, but anyway. Well, tonight is the EVP special.
End of the month.
We have danced around and jostled and hem-hawed.
Talked about everything but EVPs.
Yeah, so I guess the reason you're listening is for the EVPs. And we'll play those right after. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that to you. We have about 12 EVPs, David. These are David's collections because I am an EVP repellent.
Well, all these were collected in the month of February.
Right. And
which brings us up to the topic of the show tonight.
Topic of the show.
The main topic of the show tonight is children and their imaginary playmates.
Mm-hmm. Six of these, I think, involve kids.
Yeah, how imaginary are their playmates? That's the question. Hopefully you'll have the answer by the time this show is over with.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we just dive right in, David, and let me pull up the old prompter here and see what's on first, and looks like that one right there. Now, this is in your son's bedroom.
Yes.
And, well, let's just play it, and we'll see what it says. All right, now this is from your son Dakota's room, and it says what? He belongs to me?
Yeah, I guess I better give a little background here about what's going on.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, you got a phone call from me,
and
I thought I had some very bad paranormal experiences going on in my house.
Right.
My children started experiencing a lot of nightmares. Very, very sleepless nights, very restless, screaming out in their sleep. Of course, a couple of the kids were actually sick at that time, which I first began to start thinking, maybe it's just because they're sick. Then we had things like pictures falling off the wall, things moving on their own. And I got kind of concerned about a poltergeist situation, gave you a call. I think basically what it boils down to is that we just had a lot of paranormal activity in the house from our uninvited guest.
Right.
Because things have calmed down to a certain extent now. But the whole point of this show is children and their imaginary friends.
Right.
Now, I've got 5 children. 2 of them are grown. I still got 3 living in the house. And every one of them has had imaginary friends.
Sure.
And whenever they're sitting there carrying on a conversation with someone that's not there, you can't, most people are going to think that they've just got a good imagination, and it's healthy to have an imagination. But if you believe in the paranormal, you got to start wondering, how imaginary are they?
Right.
So a couple of years ago, I started playing with putting a tape recorder in the children's room at night as they slept. And found out real quick that there was a lot of activity going on at night around these children. One, because I believe they're magnets for spirits or entities, because they're so full of energy, and they draw energy from them. And the second reason I think that they do it is just to aggravate them, just so they can draw a negative emotion,
right,
in order to feed on higher levels of energy.
Right.
Some of them are actually, soothing and comforting, but you have a lot of jokers in there too that like
mischievous
to aggravate.
people.
Mischievous. Mischievous. Yeah, I agree with that. Mischievous. And it's just basically to provoke a response is all it is. But yes, you're right. Mischievous. Mischievous in the fact that they are aggravating, not actually tormenting,
Right.
but trying to provoke a stronger emotion so that they have something extra to feed off of.
Absolutely.
Which, comes back in the form of either nightmares, restlessness in their sleep. And, kids, especially small children, have not had it beat in their brain that ghosts don't exist.
Right.
They don't know what a ghost is. Not until you explain to them what a ghost is or they see it on TV.
Right.
And I think they're capable of perceiving a spirit, entity, or ghost a lot easier than what an adult is because it hadn't been beat into their head that there's no such thing. And, they pick up on the vibrations, I guess you would call it, that they give off.
Right.
They're much easier for them to see and to interact with.
Right. Now, more of the same here, different child though, is, now, your daughter Laramie has been sick.
Yes, bless her heart. Bless her heart, she was sick.
Was sick. And so we're going to, I guess we'll play this EVP here to start the session off. And we'll end with more of the same, but there will be some more in between. So here you go. Here's your EVP. And just hold what you got. We'll be right back. All right, now that one says that Laramie was sick.
Yeah, it's basically an entity that is in our house, imaginary playmate, if you will, that realized that she was sick, and is basically telling the rest of the people that's in the room, the rest of the entities, that Laramie is sick.
Yeah. Right. Now, there's been a lot of activity, though, in her room. There's this next one we're going to play, actually the next three that we're going to play, definitely come from her room.
Well, it come from her room on the same night.
Ooh.
It was the same night that all this was recorded.
Okay. So here's this next one here, and here you go. All right, now that one is just some kind of unknown random noise there in the background, but it sounds like it's getting a response.
Well, if you'll listen close enough to the beginning of it, you can actually hear what sounds like a human voice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all these that are playing were recorded sometime around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't anybody up other than me. Of course, I'm not, walking around the house talking or anything. But I was up simply because she was sick. I was trying to keep an eye on her. And you can definitely hear what sounds like the beginning of a human voice at the front of it. And then noise in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll hear her sort of moaning in her sleep, which I think is one of those malicious things that was just being mischievous, just aggravating her at that point.
Right.
And a lot of these, what you'll find is right before or after she cries out in her sleep.
Right.
You'll hear an entity or some type of noise that is not heard by the human ear.
Right.
But yet she's picking up on it to the point where it's disturbing her in her sleep.
Mm-hmm. Which, who knows how often that really happens with other children or even with adults.
I would say it happens every day. It's just that most adults don't believe or
Right.
don't want to believe, I should say, in the world of the paranormal, ghost, entity, spirits, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just associate it with the kid being restless in their sleep.
Right.
Or being sick or something within that line.
Or having nightmares.
Right.
Right.
But now, what would really blow their mind is if they would take the time to set up a tape recorder in their child's room
Mm-hmm.
and run that tape recorder for, 2-3 hours And then just when they've got time, to sit down and play it back and hear how many voices they hear that they know is not the child's,
Right.
not theirs, or how many unexplained bumps and noises that they'll hear that's not being generated by the child or them.
Right.
And I promise you, any individual off the street can do this. It doesn't take, an EVP specialist or anything else. Take a tape recorder, place it in your child's room at night.
Mm-hmm.
Better yet, if you want the pants scared off of it, place it in yours while you sleep.
No, not. Ooh.
I've done that. If you can get through the snoring, I snore pretty heavy, but
Yeah.
but if you place one in an adult's room, in your room,
Mm-hmm.
and let it play while you sleep, you would be very, very surprised at the amount of voices that you will pick up. And, the only person that can know for sure that there wasn't anybody else in the house or nobody else up talking is going to be the person running the tape recorder. But I'm telling you, it's a very interesting experience, and it's an eye-opener.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've had my recorder kick on in the middle of the night for 2 seconds, and
For no reason.
for no reason, right?
Turned off. I mean, locked
Locked,
off.
and then
Locked
come on,
off.
record for 2 seconds, just to convey a message, and go right back off. And it sounded like Grand Central Station in my bedroom.
I don't think the tape recorder actually has to be on in order for an entity or spirit to imprint something on it.
I agree.
I honestly don't. I mean, you're dealing with electromagnetic device,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, if you use reel to reel, you're dealing with tape that is basically nothing more than a series of rust and tape.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. So it's not hard for something to imprint on that if it wishes.
Right. And as far as an electronic recorder, well, it's just, manipulation of an electromagnetic field into a computer chip.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. So, line up a couple of ones, a couple of zeros in there in the code, and bada bing, you got it.
That's it.
Well, now, this next EVP, again, comes from your daughter's room, and here we go. All right, now that's got some interesting noises in there, David. And this is, you said again, like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. She's sick. I can almost hear. It sounds like her kind of, you know how kids kind of whimper sometimes in the night. You can almost hear that there. But there's some other noises in there.
Yeah, there's more human type noises, human speech noises that you can hear before you hear her sort of moan out softly. But again, I mean, there was absolutely nobody up. Everybody was in the bed asleep except for me, and there's no explanation of the origin for this, other than either an entity or a spirit.
Because you couldn't have had a TV on that loud that late at night.
No,
I mean,
actually,
it would have woke the family up.
Actually, TV wasn't on. I was working on the computer at the time,
Right.
but I mean, our computer at home stays muted most of the time.
Right.
Simply because we don't want the noise in the house when everybody's trying to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually in the living room when all this was recorded.
Right.
And even though I might sound crazy, I don't talk to myself. So
Well, not on tape.
not on tape.
Yeah.
But there was nobody else there. I mean,
Right.
And as you can tell by the sound of it, some of these actually sound like they were pretty far away.
Yeah, it did. It really did. I really did. Lord, I'm getting tongue-tied already. Now, this next one is going to reiterate a point. So we'll go ahead and play this one real quick and see what you think. All right, that's reiterating a point that she's very sick.
Well, now this actually came from a female.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell by the speech pattern and the sound of it that it's a female's voice. And on the actual tape, it was only just like a couple of minutes past where the male said that she's sick.
Right.
So, the female was basically agreeing that she's very sick.
Right. Yeah, that's, man, more than one entity having a conversation.
Well, it's more, I was stupid enough to ask one night, how many of you are here? And the response that I got back was very clear, more than you can count.
Man.
If you see one or if you pick up one entity, you're going to have probably hundreds of more.
And speaking of picking up one,
Yeah.
well, let's play this one.
Well, I guess that was a good
It's a
teaser.
good intro, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good teaser.
All right, yeah. Yeah, you picked up one.
Yeah, and I think that basically it was an entity confirming the fact of, yes, you picked up one referring to EVP.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Now, we're going to kind of get away from your home, and but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and got to pay the bills. Don't know what that means, but still, no new sponsors. Gotta love that. So, we're sponsoring ourselves, so sit back and listen to us talk about how good we are. Hey folks, Mike Watkins here. Many of you know me as the host of Georgia Paranormal Radio, but I'm also the founder and general manager of the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, which is an anchoring sponsor of this program. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team was founded back in 2004 as a scientifically based research and documentation team. This investigative group has over 17 years of combined experience in dealing with the paranormal, and the unique perspectives and specialties that each member investigator contributes really gives you the full package. You can trust the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team to thoroughly, yet discreetly and confidentially, investigate and document any paranormal phenomenon that you may be experiencing. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team serves a large area of North Georgia, North Alabama, and even Southeast Tennessee. As always, their time and services are 100% free of charge. All they ask for is an invitation from you to let them investigate those cold spots, bumps in the night, or anything else paranormal. And contacting them couldn't be any easier either. Just go to www.nwgapit.com and check them out. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, proudly bringing you Georgia Paranormal Radio and proudly investigating what you fear. In 2006, the number of people in the United States was an estimated 299 million, and approximately 205 million of those people were online. Now let's suppose that just 1% or 2 million of those people listen to internet radio or podcasts. Let's further suppose that just 1% of that 1% are interested in the paranormal and listen to this program. That would be 20,000 listeners or potential customers hearing about your product, service, or website on every broadcast. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team and Georgia Paranormal Radio are homegrown organizations with a regional and now worldwide footprint. Trust us to promote your product, service, or website just like it was our own. Your success is our success. With rates at only $5 a month, guaranteed exposure on every broadcast, and no long-term commitments if you aren't completely satisfied, you can't go wrong. Can you afford not to advertise with us? For further information, email Mike Watkins at mike@nwgapit.com. All right, everybody. Welcome back from that brief little respite there. We hope you're enjoying the EVP special for the month of February. And if you're not, well, just listen anyway. It'll only get better from here. Not like the first half was bad, but we got some more action-packed EVPs for you. I don't know what action-packed means.
Maybe that means good.
Let's hope. Yeah, good EVPs for you. There we go. So let's just dive right back in, David. We got 6 more EVPs here on this half of the show. And these next 3 come from well, I guess people get sick of hearing me say a confidential location, but this is a place that has to remain confidential. It's where the portal is.
Yeah.
And we guard that with our lives. Don't really, talk about it too much.
Well, if you have too many people clamming around in there, I'm afraid it's going to dry up.
Yeah, exactly.
And fairly much as it is, we can go down there just about any time and get great photographs and good EVPs.
Absolutely. Right now it's a good source, so we don't want to spoil it. It's not that we're being secretive or stingy or anything like that, but we're just being secretive and stingy.
Well,
so we're protecting the resource.
Right. I'm not going to say where it is, but now I'll give you a little bit of background on the place. Here's what you got. You've got approximately 20 acres, and on the eastern side of this is an early Native American burial ground.
Yes.
On the west end of the property, you have a cemetery that stretches back all the way to the late 1700s, early mid-1800s.
Settlers.
Yes.
Settlers.
Some of the founding fathers, actually, of the town that we're in.
Uh-huh.
And right slap dab in the middle is a school.
Well, that just pretty well gave it away.
No,
well, I mean,
not really.
From there.
If you're from there, it may have.
Yeah.
But this school holds anywhere from 600 to 700 students during the daytime. And, that's a lot of battery pack.
That is a lot of batteries.
That's a lot of battery pack for spirits.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all kinds of energy sources there to feed off of in order to manifest if they wish. And once you throw all that together, and we think that we actually have a portal opening. We have one member of the group, without calling her name, that's probably a little bit more sensitive than the rest of us. And they picked up on this portal one night when we were down there. And it always seems that in the area where this portal opening is possibly at, is where we get the biggest majority of our EVPs and some of the better photographs that I've ever taken.
And there's also, during the time that this alleged portal allegedly opened, there was a definite environmental change.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's almost like being in a vacuum.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think there's something there.
Yeah, I'd definitely say there's something there. It's just, we've got a lot more research to do on this, and we've got the aspect to think about, one, the confidentiality of the place, so that, 900,000 people don't run into it and create a problem for us. On the other spectrum, you've got the Native American culture that you have to worry about. I mean, we don't want somebody down there trying to dig up relics or anything like that. I'm part Blackfoot, part Cherokee, and I would not take that very, very well if somebody did.
Nor would I.
As a matter of fact, a lot of times before we get down there and get started on this, we actually have smudging. And we also offer tobacco offerings.
Yes, indeed.
For the Native American spirits that are there, along with the animal spirits that are there. And animal spirits, let's talk about animal spirits for a second.
Oh, okay.
Man, some of the photographs we've got down there of animals is just absolutely incredible.
One of the web updates that I did today come from down there, that bird penguin looking thing. I mean, it looks like a penguin.
It looks like a penguin.
It looks like, it may just be a different bird, but it looks like a friggin' penguin.
Well, the one that I've got of the sparrow on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't tell that that's not a sparrow. There's no way.
Right.
And several of the photographs of the Indian boy, the night we had the dowsing section down there.
Yeah.
We talked, basically. As bad as I hate to say it, it's more like a Ouija board than it is actually dowsing.
Yeah.
But I try to stay away from Ouija boards. I'm scared of Ouija boards.
I avoid them like the bubonic plague.
But once you make contact with a spirit entity, you can actually use the divining rods as a yes and no answering session.
Yeah. Just move them this way for yes, move them this way for no.
Exactly. And prior to taking this picture, we actually made contact with an entity that identified itself as a Native American. Young Native Americans, below the age of 18, and we asked permission, and we done a tobacco offering that night, and we asked permission to take his picture, and in the first picture that I took, here's this little Indian boy at the bottom of the picture, and it just blowed my mind.
Absolutely.
That was actually a great night right there.
Yeah, it was an interesting night.
But going back to the site, it's absolutely loaded with an energy source. You've got two burial grounds, one Native American, one earlier settlers on the other end there, plus this possible portal opening, and it just makes for a absolute, just magnificent place to hunt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I will guard it with my life.
Absolutely. Just like you're not going to tell me the combination to your safe, I'm not going to tell you where this place is at.
Well, no, I trust you.
Yeah. I'm talking to the
if I had a safe, I'd tell you the combination. Mainly because I know I don't have no money in there.
Right, well, I've got a safe, but it doesn't have no money in it either.
Okay.
It's for insurance papers.
Okay.
And all of my money.
Well, we bored them enough. Let's get back to the EVP.
Right. So this one is coming to you from that special location, and here you go right now. Okay, now this one is, I guess they're kind of, I don't know if they're commenting, they're asking for help because they're afraid, but they're afraid.
Yeah, I think they're reaching out for help.
Yeah, it's, I guess that would be kind of a scary situation to be in. Fortunately, I've never been dead, so, well, there was that once.
Okay.
Long story. Long story. I was 6. It involved drowning.
Okay.
But anyway.
Near death, huh?
I actually, we need to have a talk one day about the white light that I saw.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't my time.
Okay. That's good conversation for later on.
Yeah.
Of course, now you're talking to somebody that don't actually believe in the white light. Sorry.
Well, I was 6, but.
Yeah, but
Would it help you to know that on the other side, on my right-hand side, was a white light, and on the other side, on the left-hand side, was a black light? It was dark, pitch black dark. And I was floating above my own dead body that was floating in the water.
No, that I agree with. There's been too many experiences where that's actually happened, outer body experience.
Yes.
Been too many experiences where that's happened. But my basic opinion is that spirits are not trapped here on Earth because they just fail to go into the light.
No. It's
the natural order of things.
I think, I don't know. Over the years, I've tried to interpret it myself, but it was, the philosopher in me says, well, it was representative of the decisions that we all have to make in life, whether to choose light or dark. But a 6-year-old usually doesn't have those decisions to make.
No.
I can't explain it. All I know is I have a clear memory of being out of my body, of looking down at myself floating in Crawfish Springs in Chickamauga, Georgia, and on my left was black and on my right was white. And I'm not saying it was a bright white light. I'm just saying that it was brighter than the day was there, and it hurt my eyes. And on the black was scary. On the left was so dark and scary, scarier than a nightmare you've ever had.
So you just came home.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. That'd make an interesting program.
Yeah, well, I just gave the whole program away, but we need to find some other people who have had alleged near-death experiences.
This is true.
Anyway, where did we get off on that topic?
The bright light.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess being afraid can happen in that situation. Now, the next EVP, I'm glad they didn't say this when I had that little experience when I was 6. That would be weird. So here you go. Just sit back, listen to this, and hope they don't say that to you. Yeah, nobody talked to me when I had that experience. Thank God. I mean, that's weird.
Well, if they had if it had said that right there, please just come with us. You may not be here right now.
And what would the world be like without me? I can't imagine.
We wouldn't have a radio program.
Well, that would be awful.
Yeah, it would be.
It'd be awful for me because I love it.
It would be terrible.
Why are you grinning when you say that?
No particular reason.
Why are you holding a knife, David? No.
No particular reason. But yeah, that said, please just come with us. And my own interpretation and my opinion don't amount to much. You put a dime with it, and you might be able to buy a piece of bubble gum. But we've gone to this place on numerous occasions.
Right.
And they are so used to us as far as being there. I think they basically was just saying, please just come with us. They wanted me to go with them.
Right. Yeah, we've been there a lot. I guess they have kind of got used to us.
And when I die, I may actually be down there with them. I don't know.
Don't know where I'm going.
And neither do I.
But you never know. Hopefully I won't be confined somewhere. I get claustrophobic sometimes.
Well, that brings us up to the next location.
Hey, good segue, and I didn't even mean for it to happen. Wow. Actually, yeah, that'll be the next segment after this one. So, remind me to repeat that segue after this EVP. Well, I can tell you who it was. It was David Westbrooks. That's who is that. So that's what you got down there at that special location. Same night as all this, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm basically wanting to know who it is. It could have been some entity that was not originally there, didn't know who we were, or anything like that. But we get that a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, that ranks right up there with "Get Out of Here."
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Yeah, we get that a lot, actually, now that you mention it. Man, I sure could have used a good segue for this next segment. Speaking of being confined...
Speaking of
being confined, these EVPs are from our investigation last week.
Yes.
On the train.
Yeah, we got lucky, and we actually got into a train car that... I've been in one time... But it was only for just a brief amount of time, so this was virgin territory, so to speak.
Oh, it was for me. I'd never been in that particular car.
We actually got to sit down on the inside of this car for about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and try to collect some EVPs, which we did get a few. But now we had some strange experiences while we were there.
Terribly strange. I'm psychic as a doorknob. But even I felt like somebody was around us.
Well,
you didn't have to be psychic.
When you're sitting still, and I'm sitting still in a chair, and the train rocks from side to side,
right,
that ranks right up there with weird for me.
By the way, the train is docked. It's not moving. So,
no.
Yeah, the brakes are on.
Yeah, and when you hear the sound of footsteps coming down the hall from behind you, that's strange too. But what will really scare the living bejesus out of you, which it did me, was an automated air freshener can that was right behind my head. And it sprayed within 10 minutes after first arriving and sitting down in that chair. That can sprayed, and I thought I was going to come unglued.
Got the back of your head.
It sprayed right on the back of mine. I done thought I'd been grabbed.
Yeah, so not only do you have that sound, you have the wetness on the back of your head.
Yeah, I thought I had done went to see Jesus.
Oh, dear.
It scared me.
Yeah.
But no, we did have a lot of strange things happen. We heard footsteps. We could actually hear what sounded like doors.
Which were all locked.
Right. All the car doors were locked. We heard what sounded like doors opening and closing. Heard footsteps, and collected a couple of EVPs, and actually picked up. Me and you both. You heard it first, but we both picked up on what appeared to be a small child.
Yes. Yeah, and I felt like one was just right beside me. It was weird.
And actually, it probably was, because we did get an EVP off of it.
Yes. So let's start with some of these train EVPs. We got 3 of them, and this first one is a little creepy. And it's a little long, too. Let me warn you, folks, that this EVP loop is long. We loop them 3 times for you so that you can better hear what's being said. And, of course, there's about 3 to 4 seconds between each loop. But this EVP is about 1 minute and 7 to 10 seconds long.
Yeah.
This is a long one. So, you figure 15 to 20 seconds for each loop. And so here you go.
Are you free to roam and go where you will and you just choose to stay here? Or is this a punishment and you have to stay here because of a deed that you've done? Are you free to roam and go where you will and you just choose to stay here? Or is this a punishment and you have to stay here because of a deed that you've done? Are you free to roam and go where you will and you just choose to stay here? Or is this a punishment and you have to stay here because of a deed that you've done?
All right, that's up there on the creepy list, David.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of that.
You were right about one thing. It's a long loop, but you have to play the first part of it in order to get the context of it. I mean,
Yes.
you can play just the EVP and not really get what's going on. But now we were sitting there on this train, and one of the theories that I'm playing with, because these trains have been the topic of many conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason, these entities that are on this train feel like they're trapped.
Yes.
And one of my questions that night was, did you feel like you're trapped? Is this a punishment? Can you not leave this place? And the answer I got sort of took me off guard, because even though it's a Class B bordering C,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds to me like it says, I want your soul. And
Yeah.
it was a response to what I asked.
Yes. Yeah. It's
And we've run into a couple of McNasties at that place.
absolutely. And all I can say is you can't have my soul because I'm using it right now.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
need
when
it.
you get through with it, can they have it?
I'm not planning on being done for a while. Don't want to make any promises because I'm gonna be in need of it for a while.
Well, like I said, that's a Class B, maybe borderline Class C, but it definitely, to me, sounds like I want your soul.
It does. That's what it sounds like to me. Now this next one, though, time travel back, a couple of minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes into this train investigation. And
One of those weird experiences.
it's a very weird experience. Let me tell you. I felt like something was coming up on us. I heard noises. I felt something coming up on me. And like I said, I'm as sensitive or psychic, whatever you want to call it, as a doorknob, people. I mean, normally a ghost can come up, smack me in the head, and I'll think I just got bit by a mosquito or something.
Well, I hope it don't smack you in the head.
That's happened before.
Yeah.
But, and actually I was a little more sensitive after it happened. But, yeah, I got out of there. I got out of there.
Sensitive.
Yeah, I was sensitive to where I was stepping and ran. But anyway, this, I was feeling like it was all up on us. And there's no other way to say it, but the investigator in me come out, and I whip out the camera, and I send her a picture down the hallway that I think they're coming from. Now, you have to picture this train car has like a little parlor when you walk in,
Yeah.
like a living room. Well, it's a parlor. We're in the
It's very
South.
small,
Right.
but it's got several chairs and a couch that
Right.
you can sit in.
So it's a parlor.
And this is a turn of the century train, by the way.
Yes, yeah, it's not like Amtrak or nothing.
No.
This is classic,
Real
classic
deal
stuff.
passenger train, sleeper car train.
Yes. And you go in this train, in the little parlor there, and then immediately to your left is a hallway that leads by a bunch of sleeper berths.
Which is not very wide.
No. It's, well, I'm going to leave, well, I'll say it. It's like the Fat Man Squeeze at Rock City for me.
If you're claustrophobic, it would actually give you problems.
Yeah. Picture it, Fat Man Squeeze, pitch black dark, big guy like me. Not a big fan of that. But, I made it through fine. And so in the middle of this train is a dining room. For all intents and purposes, it's not big. It's big enough to seat, about 12 people.
Yeah, thereabout.
And then on the other end are some facilities. I'm sure a restroom facility, perhaps a kitchen facility. There's several things that were locked behind the doors.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, we set up in the dining room because it was the biggest area available and it was in the middle of the action.
Exactly. It was in the middle of the train, which we figured, if they're going to come or if they're going to pass by, they've got to come by us at that point.
Absolutely. So I'm feeling like something's coming by. It's coming up the hall. Something going on. I didn't feel right. And so I whip out the camera to take a picture. Well, My camera takes a picture. It's a digital Sony f707. Never had a day's problems out of that camera. It recorded the picture. Unfortunately, it forgot to record it. It said it recorded it.
Well, the flash went off.
The flash went off. The
Everything
picture
done
snapped.
just like it's supposed to.
The screen flashed and showed me a preview of what it had recorded, and then it just vanished.
Yeah, and you had what was the message that come up on it?
Camera failure.
Camera failure. Yeah, camera failure.
Camera failure. So that's a little odd. That's never happened before, and it has never happened since. So we're talking about this while the camera is recharging, while I'm resetting the memory stick, just to make sure that there's nothing wrong. Which, by the way, there was nothing wrong with the memory stick. It was locked in. And I took about 30 more pictures on that very same memory stick that night.
Right. Well, the next photograph you took was just perfect.
It was perfect.
Perfect.
Even the night shot, even infrared, all that good stuff. So we're talking about, what happened to the camera, and you hear this.
Your lens cap on? Your lens cap on? Your lens cap on?
Yeah, so David's asking me, did I leave the lens cap on? And I say no, but right before I start to say no, you hear somebody laughing.
And it wasn't us.
It wasn't, no, God, no.
And
I didn't find it funny.
I wasn't saying that to be comical either when I asked you was lens cap on, but you were the world's worst about sometimes forgetting to take your lens cap off.
I'll tell you what, Abraham Lincoln could appear right now, and I would take 20 pictures of him and forget the lens cap.
Which is why I asked, did you leave the lens cap
I
off?
get excited, and I'm always worried about scratching the camera lens because the cameras are expensive. And I get excited, and I forget to take the lens cap off. I do it every time I do something. It's crazy.
But now, remember this. Now, we're in a situation where we feel that something's coming down our hall.
Absolutely.
And it's not a funny situation, not
to
us.
Not at all.
So it's not us chuckling or laughing. It was a serious question, is your lens cap on? And evidently the entity that was making its way to us thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that they disrupted it for a reason.
Well, you had no more problems with it whatsoever.
Not at all.
You've had that camera now, I know, for at least 6 months, 8 months.
Thereabouts.
Yeah. And it's never gave a minute's problem.
Right.
Ever.
And
as soon as that one picture said, what it said, that it wasn't able to take that picture, it worked flawlessly after that.
Yeah, and no problems at all with it. And now, the thing of it is that right about the time that I got the camera failure or camera error message, David saw kind of a mist
rising up above the table.
Right.
About a foot off of the table, you could see a mist. And we're talking about 50-something degrees outside that night. It wasn't cold enough for human breath. Occasionally, the train car temperature would drop significantly.
Yeah, well, different reasons.
It wasn't human breath or anything like that.
No.
So the mist that I seen over the table coincided with your camera failure.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just a lot of strange things going on right at that moment. Train rocked.
Yes.
Train rocked at that
And that
point.
train only rocks for two reasons. One, if
You're
somebody big and clunky
around.
like me is walking around. Or two, it's rolling.
Right, and it was doing neither one was happening.
Neither.
It definitely wasn't rolling because it's docked.
And I was, tripoding up.
Yeah,
to take
he wasn't
a picture.
moving around. So we had, with a combination of everything, it was weird.
It was a very weird occurrence.
It was.
Now, this last EVP that we're going to play comes from that train again. And this is, we were trying an experiment. Now, David had found a lens cap cover from a Canon camera, which we don't use Canons, but it was left there, I guess, by a tourist who had been there previously. And since we felt that there were children around, we were going to try to, see if we could get a little interaction out of them.
Right. And we actually tried to find something that was round, like a ball.
Right.
Which, from now on, I'm going to have a small ball.
Right. Like
in my bag.
Right.
Because just for the specific purpose that if we feel like a child is present, see if they want to play.
Right. Well, we didn't have the ball. The lens cap wouldn't fix itself, so
It wouldn't stand up on
Right.
its end. We were going to stand it up on its end to see if they could move the lens cap, but it wouldn't stand up.
So let me give the people that want to put the South down a bad word. I have a bad habit, just one, because otherwise I'm perfect in every way. Right. So anyway, I have.
Oh, I think that entity just laughed again.
Yeah. Oh dear Lord, where is he? Anyway, I have one bad habit that I'll publicly confess to, and I've dipped snuff since I was a child. You know, me and my blind banjo picking cousin.
Well, let's clarify that. It's not actually snuff.
No, it's not. It's dip. It's smokeless
skull.
tobacco. Right. Well, it's generic skull. I can't afford real skull.
But it's skull. It's
skull.
cut tobacco.
Right. It's not like Bruton snuff that Grandma used to do.
Right.
But I started when I was like 14 actually, and have for half my life. So I just happened to have a can of it with me.
Right.
And it's nice and round, and believe it or not, it'll stand up without moving. Because the weight inside of it holds it in place.
So what do we do?
Well, we put it up on its side to see if they want to play with it a little bit.
Absolutely gorgeous maple or oak table that's in the center of this dining area, and it's just as smooth as a baby's butt.
Yeah.
And we take this can of skull, turn it on its side, set it on the table, and we're sitting there imploring this entity, this child, to play with it, to move the can, to see if they will move the can for us.
Right.
And this is what we get.
Right. Now, this is another long one, folks. This is about a minute long, so here you go.
All right, there's children here. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have a ball. I don't think that's going to stand on it. All right, there's children here. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have a ball. I don't think that's going to stand on it. All right, there's children here. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have a ball. I don't think that's going to stand on it.
All right. Yeah, we wanted to play.
Yeah. And you can tell by the sound of it, it sounds like a child.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid to me.
Younger child. And basically was sitting there saying he wants to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's your lesson in Ghost Hunting 101 tonight. Skull cans make excellent play toys for the dearly departed.
Although it was never moved.
Right.
That we could tell.
Not that I could confirm.
Not that we could confirm.
Right.
It was never moved.
So, but hey,
But we got an intelligent response.
Absolutely. And I'll take either one.
And the intelligent response is actually just about as good as the can moving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been my luck that, if the can had moved, it would have been used like a hockey puck and hit me in the face. I'd have had a broken nose because of it.
But I set off to the side.
Right. Yeah, just so you get sprayed with air freshener.
Yeah. That happened.
It saves you from taking a bath.
That happened several times. And I got kind of used to it, though.
Yeah.
I got where I didn't jump so bad.
After about the third time, I quit jumping and started, giggling every time it happened, every 10 minutes. But, oh, wow, what a night. And, hey, what a show. We've had a good show.
Yeah.
We've went a while.
The bad part is it's just about over.
It's just about over. So...
Well, we talked about everything tonight,
God, we have... Yeah, man, I'm sorry. If we wasted your time, I'm sorry. But hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Oh, it's never a waste of time.
No.
We enjoy doing this.
No, it's a great release.
And we got the EVPs out, which is what they came to listen for. They just had to listen to our stupidity in the meantime.
A lot of people, and this is a good segue into we love your feedback, send us feedback, that I always say. A lot of people have commented that they like hearing our war stories. They actually like listening to us talk about things that are going on and investigations. I don't know why you people like hearing our war stories.
Well, it's like being in school.
It is.
When you were in school, which teachers did you learn from the best? And I'm not saying we're teachers.
Right.
But which ones did you learn from the best? The ones that sit there just monotone, just talking like this. reading straight from the book, or did you learn more from the ones that laughed and cut up and joked
Absolutely.
and changed things around so that it was fun?
Absolutely. Miss Vicky and Miss Baker were that way. And I remember them to this day.
When it gets just monotone and you're talking in the same level all the time and it's boring, you're going to go to sleep.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't be listening to this show.
Which is exactly why we act the way we act. Not that we're not crazy, but, I mean, we keep it fun, try to keep it fun so as to keep you entertained.
Absolutely. And hopefully you were entertained. Hopefully you've enjoyed these EVPs. We don't have a Mystery of the Month EVP this month.
No, we don't. February is a very busy month for us because we're getting prepared for a lot of things at work now.
Mm-hmm.
They're going on now, which we're really, really busy now.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I didn't. And we didn't get a lot of feedback off the EVP of the month.
Got a couple. I think Mike up in Indiana commented.
Yeah, we got a couple, but not like I was hoping. If you miss it and you want it back, contact us and let us know.
Yeah,
we'll do it next month.
Same thing about the live chats. We were hosting the live chats every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, 4 or 5 people showing up on a good night.
Yeah.
A lot of nights it was just me talking to myself, which, I can do that without typing.
I think so. That's not unusual.
Right. So, I canceled it. If you want the live chats back, hey, let me know. And if enough people let me know, then we'll do it. Otherwise, I guess folks have other things to do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but the whole thing is, we're here for them.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to talk about, send it in. I don't care.
Yeah. Now, I'm debating on next week's guest. I don't know. Be really kind of... Not a big... Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm confused about...
You sound confused.
I am.
You know my standpoint on it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you think it's a good idea. I just don't want the person breaking into giving me a reading and telling me that there's 13 people behind me with spiritual butcher knives waiting to stab me as I go to the bathroom.
Mike, we picked up EVPs where they're saying, let's kill the big one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have blocked that out of my memory.
Yes,
I reject your reality and insert my own.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I reject your reality and insert my own. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I mentioned that last week.
Yeah.
But, it's a psychic who's approached us to be on the show. And very interesting fellow. I have to admit, the fellow's very interesting. He'd make a good guest. But what I may actually do is, if it happens, I may get David up here to be the reading guinea pig.
I'm a guinea pig.
So
he'll try to give a reading and scream out, "Oh my God, don't ever come around me again," and run.
I have never had a psychic reading, and I don't know that I want one because I still have some of that theological stuff in me.
Hey, I don't care. It don't bother me none. I mean, and to be honest with you, it's a proven fact. Some people are more sensitive.
Absolutely.
Can pick up on things better than others, and I believe in it. I mean, wholeheartedly, I believe in a psychic's ability. But now you've actually got very few that are legitimate psychics and can actually do this because of their ability. Most, I ain't gonna say most, some are nothing but con men.
Absolutely.
Women that can pick up. Like in my job, I'm trained to observe and to, watch the body, see what kind of, movements they're doing in order to try to interpret exactly what they're trying to say or not say, as the case may be.
Right.
And a lot of people are basically trained in this and can pick up a lot of things just by the way you move, by the way you talk, the type of clothing that you wear. There's actually very few people that can actually are capable of doing psychic readings.
Right.
But, like I said, I do believe in it.
Well, there are some legitimate phenomenons out there. That may be our guest next week. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If not, we'll do something. We're not going to leave folks hanging.
Well, like I said, I think it'd be a good program.
If it's not, I'll say this much. Let me say this. Let me go ahead and make a commitment right here on the air. If we don't have him on next week, I will get him for 3 weeks out.
Well, that's cool with me.
And
then if it don't work out and if it's a bad show, you can blame me. How's that? Of course, I'd have got to blame anyway.
Well, sure.
Okay.
That's what you're here for.
Ain't but two of us here, and I'm not taking the blame. Right.
That's what you're here for, David. I'm sorry. By the way, if this show sucks, it's David's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm perfect in every way.
It's like being at home.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, we appreciate you listening to us being goofy tonight, and appreciate all the steady fans fans. That still bothers me to say that word, fans. There are fans of this show. I know there are people that like this show. They're fans. I appreciate all those people that like this show, our supporters.
You're just not used to the idea of having fans.
No, I'm not. Because...
Well, why don't we stop calling them fans and just call them friends?
Friends of this show. I like that. Friends, supporters.
Because that's what they are. They're friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like that better. I can sleep with that.
You can sleep anyway.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. But, yeah, it's... sometimes I consider things like that for 12 seconds before I go to bed.
It sounds more personal.
Yeah, friends of the show. I like that. It's like a PBS station. We have friends.
Okay.
Public broadcasting always calls you their friends when they want money from you.
I know what PBS is. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Well, that's where Garrison Keller comes on the Prairie Home Companion.
Like I said, I'm
Don't
not
be a blasphemer.
Big fan of it at all.
Don't be a blasphemer.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. You just got a better constitution than I got because I don't have the patience to sit down and listen to it.
Well, to each his own.
Yeah, that's true.
To each his own. Well, anyway, how many times have I said? I appreciate you good folks joining us tonight. Appreciate you being friends of this show, supporters of what we're doing. I ask you to continue to support us. And, hey, what better way of showing that you're a friend of this show than to be our friend on MySpace?
Exactly.
I always forget to mention MySpace, but we've all got pages on there. And you can find us on the... I updated the Northwest Georgia Pit homepage.
Yeah.
So you can go there, and there's a link to each respected person that's on the show here. And, hey, be our friends. Heck, you got more friends than I do, too. I don't...
Sorry. Cindy's got more than both of us.
I know. What's up with that?
She's a likable person. No, I ain't going to work. Let me see if I can come up with something else.
Right. Oh, okay. Anyway.
Sorry, I couldn't come up with nothing. I don't know. Bless her heart. She's not here to defend herself tonight, so I better leave her alone.
Yeah, we hope she's feeling better, too. She's been sick for a while, too.
Bless her heart.
She's been out of with the funk for a while.
Yeah. And just, I know she'll listen to the program because she'll want to see how stupid we actually were tonight.
Yeah.
But, Cindy, I honestly and truly love you. And I really hope that you get to feeling better. And I'm just stop laughing. I'm not making a joke. I love my wife. I really love my wife. And
why are your fingers crossed?
Way. Yeah, if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be the person I am today. That's the God's honest truth.
She's a very motivated and strong woman. I give her that.
Yeah, she is that. And she's not only my wife, she's my best friend. And I don't know what I'd do without her.
No doubt.
But I know I make a lot of fun of her here on the show and everything sometimes, but all it is ribbon, and I don't know what I'd do without her, so hopefully she's going to get better here before too awful long.
Let's hope so. We miss you, Cindy. I hadn't seen you in a while. Didn't want to pick up the germ again, so hopefully you'll be doing better, and hey, 2 weeks, the show's yours, so you better get better.
Yeah, because Mike said he ain't going to sit here and talk all the time.
Yeah, people are getting sick of hearing me. And they need to be my friend, though. Even though they're sick of hearing me, they need to be my friend. I got to get those numbers up somehow.
Yeah, well, we got to let them go sometime.
Yeah.
Might well be now.
Might as well be now. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Continue to support this show if you would. Tell a friend. And, hey, we hope you enjoyed it. I got one thing to say, and I say it every time, and I'll do it after this. David, I appreciate you being here. About forgot to say that, and I always like to get that in on the air. Tell the guests or the guest co-hosts that I appreciate them being here, and I hope you folks appreciated him coming out and sharing his EVPs with us. And as I always say, if you go out to do any investigating, take the extra 5 seconds, use a little common sense, do things right, and be careful. Be safe out there, because I'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it when you make it home, and I'm sure your friends and family will too. So, have a good night, everybody.
car, no kite, no bond, no interest rate, no job, no beer, no store, no ghost is here. We are 6 feet underground. 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 Now drugs, the war, the clothes, the laundromat, the clock and the morning home. Now child, retired, protest, live wire, check up, smoke up, break up, look down. We are 6 feet underground. We are 6 feet underground. We are